Most people believe that staying quiet means you have something to hide. They believe that if you don't explain yourself, you look guilty, weak, suspicious. That is the most dangerous lie you have ever been told. And the people who planted it in your mind benefit every single time you open your mouth to justify yourself. There are exactly 5 situations in life where a truly powerful man says nothing. Not because he can't speak, but because he has already understood something his opponents never will. By the time this video ends, you will never feel the urge to explain yourself again. Every time you explain yourself to someone who didn't ask for an explanation, you are handing them a map of your insecurities. Before I give you the 5 situations, I need to tell you what's actually happening inside someone's mind the moment you start explaining yourself. Watch what happens the next time you're challenged. Your pulse quickens. Your words come faster. You start building a case, not because they ask for one, but because you cannot tolerate the idea that they might think less of you. That reaction is not confidence. That is a hostage situation. And the person asking the question owns the hostage. Here's what they never taught you. Explanation is a currency. Every time you spend it on someone who doesn't deserve it, you go bankrupt in their eyes. The moment you start justifying, you have already conceded that their judgment of you matters. You've handed them the frame. And whoever holds the frame holds the power. But the 5 situations I'm about to show you, these are the exact moments where most men destroy themselves without ever throwing a punch. Here is the psychology they don't want you to understand. The human brain is wired to interpret silence as authority. In every social hierarchy that has ever existed, the one who speaks last and speaks least is perceived as the one who needs nothing from the interaction. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle of communication. Rare things are valued. Common things are ignored. The man who explains himself constantly makes his inner world common property. But the silent man becomes a mystery. A mystery creates a psychological pull that no amount of talking ever could. People lean in. They wonder. They assign him qualities he may not even possess, simply because he gave them nothing to argue with. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence is a mirror, and most people cannot stand what they see when you refuse to fill it for them. Now, the 5 situations. Situation 1. When you are walking away from a relationship, they will demand an explanation. They will tell you that you owe them one. You do not. The moment you left, you already communicated everything that needed to be said. The man who leaves quietly destroys any narrative they could build about him, because there is nothing to argue against. Silence is the final word in every relationship that was never going to survive your growth. Situation 2. When someone betrays you and later acts as if it never happened. Do not confront. Do not explain that you know. Do not give them the satisfaction of a reaction they can calibrate. The silent man watches. He adjusts. He removes access quietly. And the betrayer spends the rest of their life confused about when the door closed and why. Situation 3. When you choose a different path than what was expected of you, family, society, friends, they will want you to justify the choice. They will present it as concern. It is not concern, it is discomfort. Your deviation from the expected path makes them question their own. Explain nothing. Execute everything. Let the result do what words never could. Situation 4. When you are being provoked in public. This is the oldest trap in human social psychology. The provocation is not about the argument. It is about getting you to react visibly. Your reaction is the content, not their words. The man who smiles slightly and says nothing has already won. The crowd instinctively understands who needed the reaction and who didn't. Situation 5. When you succeed after being counted out. This is the most powerful silence of all. When the people who doubted you, dismissed you, or disappeared on you see the result, do not explain the journey. Do not show them what it cost. Simply exist in the outcome. The silence after a comeback is not humility. It is the loudest statement a man can make. You were never ignored. You were simply not yet at a level where your presence created discomfort for them. Once you understand these 5 situations, something permanently changes. You stop chasing approval through explanation. You stop treating every challenge as a debate that must be won with words. You begin to understand that the most controlled man in any room is the one who chooses when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. The power shift is not external. It is internal first. The moment you stop needing to be understood by people who are never going to understand you anyway, you become unreachable. And unreachable men are not ignored. They are studied. They are feared. They are respected from a distance by the very same people who once expected explanations from them. Here is how you apply this starting today. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, pause for exactly 3 seconds. Ask one question silently. Is this person someone whose judgment should cost me anything? If the answer is no, say nothing. Let the silence stand. Do not soften it with a smile or fill it with filler words. Just hold it. You will feel uncomfortable. Hold it anyway. That discomfort is the old version of you dying. Every time you hold the silence, you become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, and harder to dismiss. The most respected men in every room you will ever enter share one quality. They were not the loudest. They were not the most visible. They did not campaign for understanding or beg for recognition through explanation. They simply existed at a level that made questions about their choices feel irrelevant. You cannot build that level while you are constantly justifying yourself to people who are not on it. Stop explaining. Start becoming. The silent man does not close the door loudly. He simply stops opening it.